Hello Linux fans, and welcome to our new series. Brand new. It's not gonna have nothing to do with installing hardware and software on Linux, but it's gonna be all about a clueless girl starting to game on Linux. Clueless in terms of the fact that I've actually never worked on Linux before, and as you know, girl actually knows not how to put her parts together. That's hardware, you know. So I'm gonna be having a little extra help today, and I'm gonna be showing you the due process of how I, by the way it was not I, assembled the PC of my dreams that was fully scrapped. I'm gonna say it again. It was fully scrapped, meaning it was laying around in the scrapyard. That's not to say all parts, okay? A fully scrapped PC ain't gonna work with a not proper GPU, okay? Some of the parts were actually old and reused from our old PCs because girl gotta have a lot of PCs. Another part, or rather should I say another part, were actually bought. So I'm gonna be going through and showing you exactly what we got and putting down the prices as well, just so you know, in case you're interested. But some of the things may have depreciated in value since we bought them quite a few years ago. Regardless, I will be listing them all just so you know what my PC can actually run and what parts they're inside, because we gotta do a due diligence for hermana, okay? Anyway, since girl knows not how to put parts together, I haven't played with Legos before, okay? I will be needing someone to help me out, and we have the one and the only partner in crime, hashtag partner, hashtag boyfriend. So we have this boy helping us out to assemble the parts together, and I'm gonna be doing a little bit of putting things and doing things on the side, but you know, I'm gonna need a lot of help. Hopefully things are not gonna blow up, because I've seen quite a few videos like that. And if they do, don't worry, I have 112 on call. I'm gonna call them. Ambulance is gonna be here. Okay, it's gonna be fine. Anyway, let's not get sidetracked and let's step right into our PC building video. This is our motherboard. This is the ASRock B450 that everything is going to be going into. It was not too over budget. It was actually pretty good for its price card. I will list the price down below just so you have a good idea of how much it costs. And this is gonna be where all the little nits and bobs are actually going to go in. This is our power supply. That's the Raider 2 coming in 550 watts hot. This is the power supply that we chose that is going to actually fit whatever we need to fit energy-wise, power-wise perfectly. This is actually the thing that was the cheapest off of them all, apart from the RAM sticks. We wanted to choose a component that actually didn't cost that much because we're talking about hardware sustainability. We're talking a lot about all of these things on our website. This is more or less our motto, so we wanted to pick something that didn't have to be all that expensive but still actually got the job done. So this is our power supply. RAM sticks. We got the HyperX Predator, which is, you know, HyperX never disappoints. It's the best brand out there for RAM sticks. Okay. DDR4 are generously overclocked. We didn't really have to worry in terms of RAM. Basically, we got 2x8s just so we can make sure that we can be supporting everything we were doing. We actually got pretty high-end RAM sticks, I would say. They were not really on the low end, but you know, RAM is one of the more important components. So we actually just ended up spending a little more on the RAM sticks, but still, they ended up being the more inexpensive part of the whole build. Regardless of that, DDR4s, 2x8s. That's the RAM. SSD. Here we got the Samsung 970 Evo Plus M.2s, because you can never go wrong with Samsung, and we want fast loading speeds, so we don't really want to be booting and sitting there and waiting and wondering about life. So we decided we are going to actually invest in the Samsung SSD As you all know, it's all about the fast booting speed, fast processing power, and all of that things. That's why we actually went in for this specific one. It's an M.2, as I've already mentioned, and yeah, we just wanted to splurge a little bit on the parts that actually mattered rather than something like the power supply, because we wanted to be economically buying things and not just overcrowding the YouTube space with too much premium stuff, because we don't like that and we like budgeting. Anyway, SSD. And the jewel, the one, the only Beyonce of all parts that we've been having so far. Oh, it's front side up, that's really good actually. It's the AMD Ryzen 5 3600. Come on, honey. That's the crown jewel of everything. It may be second place in regards to Intel crap, but in my heart, it's place number one. AMD does not fail. It does not disappoint. This is CPU we have wanted. The Maximus Splurgimus. This is what we spent the most money of the whole build on. The standard 6 cores, 12 threads, as you already know, but the most important part is the 4.2 max clocking boosterino. Come on guys, it's for this price, it's the best thing you can find out there in my personal opinion. And this is why we let this one slip into our DMs really fast. And knew right away that this is probably going to be the one and only true believer of this whole parts series. So, that's our CPU. And as for the GPU, as you guys may have already heard, it was scrapped. But not scrapped in that sense, because otherwise it won't really be able to operate. But rather, we actually got it from one of our fairly old PCs, and it is the Gigabyte GTX 970, which is kind of limited in nowadays games and things that are currently out for PCs right now, but hopefully it's gonna do the job. Girl don't have all that much to spend on PC, so we just had to scrap one of the portions. That's gonna be our GPU. It's already pre-installed into the case that I'll be showing you shortly. And this is the reason why I don't have it in my hands. But yes, this is gonna be our GPU. This, friends, is the oldest exhibit we have. It was scrapped in Sweden, and right now it's all the way in Bulgaria. Don't ask me questions, okay? That's unnecessary at this point. This 10-year-old beauty is the Cool Master case that we currently have all of the old parts in, and as you can see, it's really wobbly. All of our parts are thrown in here because you kind of don't want to store old parts anywhere else apart from in an old case. So literally, that's what we have going with us. It's not pretty, but it's functional, and that's what we're looking for in this channel anyway. That's what I'm going to be working with, as I mentioned before, GPUs inside, and we are going to be assembling all of our beauty parts together in a jiffy. So make sure you take all of this beauty in and you remember it, because that's gonna be our guinea pig for the coming few months, hopefully years, depending on how you guys like all of this. Please give me the thumbs up if you like it, okay? Please, I need some love, I need some affection, I need some loving, okay? Now, let's just cut right away to the assembly bit. I'll be right there, and do enjoy the voiceover, me talking about the project, what we're doing this for, jokes aside. Hopefully you enjoy it. I'll see you in a jiffy. While we're sitting here assembling our components, I figured that it would be actually a great idea to lead you through the project and what we are actually thinking about doing, why we're doing this series, and overall what the expectations are. It's not going to be something that is going to be extremely professionally done. I am myself not really that much of an experienced Linux user. I have never used Linux before in my life. I have pretty much only used Windows up until now. My experience with Linux is absolutely limited to the point of its non-existence. And so I thought it would be a good idea to see whether any person, regardless of background, regardless of education, regardless of knowledge of OS, can hop into Linux, start using it, and also have some really good experience with it. So that's one of the reasons why I thought it might be a great idea to start a gaming channel. Well, now, not speaking about my personal background, another reason for doing this is just out of curiosity, to be quite honest, because I've read so many articles that yes, gaming on Linux is absolutely fine, it can be done, it is possible, and so on and forth, but quite limited. And as you know, this is not really the goal of what I'm actually trying to do. I'm trying to see whether or not Linux will be as welcoming and as open to new users as can be. Because of that, I was thinking that it's probably going to be a good, nice try to hop in and be absolutely clueless about the process overall, because as you know, I have barely assembled a PC in my life. And I've done a few Windows installations, OS installations that is, but nothing of the sorts of Linux. I have no idea what to do. Everything that you've learned from Hermano, I'm basically on point zero here. I think it would be quite interesting to see whether somebody who is roughly my age and who is disinterested in trying out a different OS and a different gaming technique can actually merit some profit from all of this. Bring you along and give you a little bit of a shot of the dirty case, because as you guys know, I mean, it's been sitting around for a little bit of a while. It's been with us for a very long time. So you may not see it because that ain't the best camera, but look at that build up. Yeah, boy, it's terrible. It's terrible, guys. So we have, that's the old motherboard stuffies, by the way. Never mind that. We have our trusty vacuum cleaner to help us with that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to try it out, just so that if people should be interested, regardless of whether or not, you know, there's a bunch of like installations on Linux online on YouTube right now, they can actually try and have a go if they want to game, if they want to use Linux for some other purpose, whatever purpose they have on their minds, just so we can see if there's the actual possibility of them doing this on their own. And so, to me, specifically, from a scientific standpoint, I think it's quite important to mention that there will be people that will have much more difficulty trying to get through the installation process. But that's, of course, not to say that there is other people, providers that can actually install Arch Linux or another distro for you, regardless of that. I want to just try it and give it my best and see if someone who is not that well versed in the whole entirety of coding an operating system can actually go ahead and just install a bunch of things and then just try it out. So what this really is, it's a social experiment in a way. And since I'm trying to see if there would be some more people interested, or there would be others who will be considering switching to Linux because of Windows updates and other things that are actually not that nice and not that sweet, including having to pay for Windows overall.
Now, if you are a person who is interested in trying this out on your own and doing this on your own, I would definitely suggest looking through one of Hermano's videos, of course, my partner on the channel, who has been basically growing the channel from the very get-go. He has a bunch of installation videos. They will definitely help you out, whether it's for different distros or it's for the base system. It does not really matter. You will be able to find what you're looking for there for sure. Or just by consulting the Linux wiki, you can just do this by Googling it and you will be able to see the exact steps of the process. Now, for this specific thing, for the wiki, you need to know some prior things, you need to know some prior codes. Of course, there's a guide, there's a list of all of these things as you go through the wiki itself, but I would definitely suggest you check it out, especially when it comes to steps. If you're not that much of a visual learner, but you would rather want to read this out and go through the process and through the steps yourself. Now, additionally, this is just supposed to be an interesting series where people that are much well versed than me in Linux and people that have no idea and are clueless just like me can follow through my experience and maybe recommend installing Linux to someone. Maybe save them all of the hassle and all of the trouble they're currently having with their current OS.
She's a beaut. Gotta flip that vent. Gotta flip it. Come on, Mike.
Flip for good measure.
Flip for good measure.
So
always flip.
The only thing we have left to do is to attach all of the cables that we have laying here. We have the power supply on the side. We just need to hook everything up and to its appropriate slots. And finally, we're going to slot in the graphics card, and I think then we're in business.
Yeah.
As you know, Linux can run on much older PCs and much older components, and it doesn't need to update preemptively. Now, it's supposed to be interesting, it's supposed to be entertaining, but it's also supposed to be somewhat scientific in that it's hoping to inspire people to just try Linux out and to see and show how much of variety Linux can actually have. Although it's not 200% on par with what you can do in Windows or for Windows gaming, of course, because Windows has been more or less the mother of all games. It's still aiming to show that Linux can provide, yes, a limited portion of games, but still games that you can definitely go ahead and try out on a much more stable and much more sustainable system. Now, as you know, part of our projects that we have been running currently with Hermano, especially on our website, you may not really have heard about that, but let me elaborate. We are all about hardware sustainability. Now, that may sound like a completely new made-up term, because it is, but the point of what we've been doing and the PCs we currently have in store is that you can grab a bunch of old PCs, regardless of brand, regardless of anything, and you can simply install Linux as an operating system on them and reuse them until their literal components actually start failing. This in turn increases the longevity and the capability of your really old PC without having to swap in or out new parts, just so that you can have it run and just so you can have a machine. In that sense, we call the project hardware sustainability simply because you increase the longevity of not only the operating system, but also your hardware components. And some of the things we're currently selling and have in stock are with upgraded memory, just so it can be a little bit easier on new users. But all PCs we currently have in stock on our page have Linux installed and the possibility to select a certain distro that you would want that you can get together with laptop depending on your needs. And really what it all is about, while it can be interesting from this standpoint, and I am the guinea pig in that scenario, it will be maybe nice to see for more experienced Linux users what kind of problems a person like me who has absolutely no clue about Linux can run into, and maybe have me reconsider some things, reconsider some distros, reconsider some games, so on and forth. Now, I will be reporting on all kinds of difficulties we have, including the software and hardware installation. Software installation coming up in the next video, by the way, guys. And this is when we'll start actually with the gaming videos. So if you're interested, stay tuned for this video and cross your fingers for me, because installing Linux sounds like, it sounds like a hell of a lot of work. Regardless, I'm gonna be tackling all of this on my own, without Hermano's help, without anyone else's help, because I think that's only fair to the project. So if you like the idea of sustainability, if you like the idea of someone completely clueless going into Linux and playing games on Linux, then please do give this video the thumbs up, and also follow our Instagram, because I will be posting some backstage updates. So yeah, if you like the idea, just go ahead and share some of the love, and I will leave you with the rest of the video and the Hocus Pocus commentary. Make sure to stay to the end so you can actually see what went on and why we actually had to bend the whole case inside. But yes, stay over for the whole length of the video just to make sure you actually see that, and I'll leave you with it.
Before we are not able to find it because a lot of parts just go lost. Oh, you actually found it. I think this was the one.
What?
Dropped on here.
What?
I think I sucked it in with the vacuum cleaner.
What?
One of the bolts, this one, and it fell straight out afterwards. So I rescued him.
Okay, good.
Bob, why you go in there, Bob? You're not supposed to get sucked in by the vacuum cleaner, Bob.
Don't get sucked for. Yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty good motto for a power supply company, I think. By the way, before you guys think of it in any other way, we are not sponsored by any of these people that actually manufacture the parts. So we bought all of this with our own money, and we're building this PC with our own money. So everything we're showing off was purchased from us.
lining up pretty perfectly.
Awesome.
Okay.
We have a smarty pants over here.
That's what I'm here for.
Are you threatening me? So guys, she is actually ready, finally. We've encountered some issues that I decided to spare you simply because, yeah, you can see. Well, short story short, the GPU didn't fit. And basically, what Mr. Big Brain decided to do over here was to actually file it down and hammer it down until it entered the case. So basically, what we have going right now is this. This is the prettiest looking PC ever, as you can tell. And this is what happens when you decide to scrap things and you decide to fit them in an old case. So this is the hero of the night here. If it weren't for him, we probably wouldn't even have managed to fit everything inside. So right now, at least, everything is ready, and we are going to test if she goes on, because this is the most important part.
Indeed, we'll see. What I've done basically, because the case with the cages, you have a cage here for things like HDD drives, like floppy disks, and CD readers and things like that. And I had a look at the cage, and you would think normally like, hey, you can just take off the cages, but these are not screwed in, so they are actually bolted. So they're bolted into position. You can see on the floor here, for example, where I have my finger right there. That's not a nut. That is bolted in place. So I did not manage to undo the cage. So what I opted for is I put a dent on the side, simply with a hammer, just to get that a bit compromised structurally, and then I hammered it inside to get it lower, to basically have the midsection of the both two cages meeting, have the midsection drop down. That did half of the work, and the rest of the work I went in on a clipper, just on the fans themselves, and I started chipping away on the outer end, because that was actually the end that ended up hitting the cages. And yeah, a lot of hard work, a lot of sweat, and we have the GPU fitted finally.
Finally. All right, so moment of truth. We are set and we are about to test what we have tried, and we will see if it fries everything or we actually did a good job. Actually, he did a good job because I helped with passing the cables around. So let's see what we have going here. Moment of truthiness.
Can we actually build computers, or are we just a bunch of pretenders?
Moment of truth.
Alright, we got some cool LEDs.
We got cool LEDs.
We got some
Oh,
cool LEDs.
we got some LEDs, boys.
Oh, now I really regret not getting a new flashy case.
It's flashy. I don't know what you mean. That's flashy enough for me, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, but you know,
I mean, it has a special dent. We should call it Marlowe.
I mean, it's your PC. You get to call it whatever you want.
Okay, Jon say the second then.
Yes. Fine. You know what? Whatever.
All right. Do I boot?
You have the honors.
I have the honors.
Here's the power switch.
Okay, let's do it together, guys. Let's do it together. Okay, where's my finger? There's my finger. 3, 2, 1. And she works, boys. She works. We're actually not pretenders. Everything is working out fine, as you can see. She powered up. She's good to go. With her dent, Marlowe. Low and behave, Yonsei the second. So there you have it, guys. It's built. She's here. Yonsei the second came to us. She's working. Everything's flawless. And after much bending and curving, she is finally here with us. A moment of silence for the hard work of my boyfriend. There you have it. That's the full complete video. We're exhausted, we're sweaty. We spent literally the whole day in 35 degrees heat just to have this one built for us and for the gaming channel. So if you like the video, please make sure you like it. Let me know down in the comments what components we should have put in first according to you, if there's something we did wrong, or just show us the affection. Follow us on all of our social media. Bye guys, and thank you for watching.